Well, hello there, friends, enemies, and lovers. I'll let you figure out which one you are. Today I'm going to be going over my March wrap-up, or all of the updates that I have in reading, writing, life, media, any other kind of fun things that happen to me. It's just, these are basically like an all-encompassing update wrap-up of my life. I am considering March the month of completion. I feel like I finished quite a few little projects that I was working on. I also finished a heck ton of books. 13 books to be exact. I don't know when the last time I read 13 books in 1 month was, but whoo dog, I was on fire. First, I always like to start out with my life section, or just like what was going on, what the emotional, physical climate was for the month of June. March. Since last month, I've had 2 really big transitions in my life, and one of them is that my husband switched to second shift, so because of that, my sleep patterns and just working patterns have completely shifted around. I'm writing more in the evenings and I'm sleeping later, I'm going to bed later. It's just been a big shift, but overall it's been really nice having mornings to spend with him because we both have, you know, more energy. We can get out and do things, run some errands, spend time together, versus when he gets off, you know, in the evening. I've been working all day, he's been working all day, we're really tired. So it's just really nice to have him. And then the second thing is that my pain-free days like boosted up so much from last month. I'm so excited. This month I had 12 pain-free days, which is really good for me. That's on the higher end versus last month in February when I had only 7. So up by 5 is amazing. I really think this is because I started a steroid treatment with my neurologist just because the season change is always so hard on my migraines, and there was a lot of flip-flopping going on in February. I was just like really struggling, so I went into my neurologist and they're like, okay, let's just zap you with some steroids and we'll just start from scratch. And around that time, spring kind of settled here a bit more, so there was a lot less up and down. So I did really well in the month of March. A little bit scared for April because I know April in Ohio we get all 4 seasons usually, and it's gonna be the switch from spring to summer that I'm just a little bit nervous about, because that's when the barometric, is that how you say it? Barometric pressure? Barometric pressure? Some sciencey person in the comments will let me know for sure. But like that's when it really starts bouncing around. It's been really great so far. This month has been kind to me as well so far in April. So yeah, I'm feeling positive, feeling good. The last part of my life section, and the first thing that I kind of finished this month, was I finally finished my workout program that I've been working on all year. I really do like to stay active and move my body. It makes me feel so good. But the problem is I have a lot of pain days and a lot of ailments. So when I do workout programs, I can't do like, you know, 6 days a week like most workout programs have you do. So I just do them whenever I can. And so programs that are supposed to take, say, 3 weeks may turn into taking 2 months. It's fine. I finally finished my current workout program. I loved it. It's called MBF. It's on Beachbody. I've talked about it before. It was just a really good time. They have good modifiers, so I can still get a good workout, but I don't have to, like, you know, be a gymnast. Anyway, I'm starting a new one soon. Hopefully my husband's gonna join me, and it's gonna be another one of Shaun T's workout programs. If you guys are familiar with him, he's done like T25 and Insanity and things like that. I've done Insanity before and I really love it. He's got a new one that's kind of a mix of Insanity and dance workout together. So I'm really excited. Although I told Brian he's gonna have to like wear a blindfold the whole time because he is not allowed to see me dance. Just kidding. I think I dance really good, but he tells me I can't, which I'm just really enthusiastic. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I have fun. Anyway, let's move on to writing. As many of you know, I got my ARCs in, and that was a huge thing that happened for me this month. She's real. I can feel her. I can flip through the pages. I wrote these. I still can't get over it. I can't get over this is my book. And it's so like precious the way friends and family keep telling me like, oh, I read this little part in your book and I loved it. Like, let me give you this specific detail that proves I'm reading it and this is real. And I'm just like, oh, you've read that part? Like, and it'll be like the dumbest part. Like, it'll be my main character like walking into a gas station and I'm just like, oh. So it's been a really fun experience having these bad boys. And I also finished my second draft of Tobe. I do have a vlog up where I vlog myself finishing that book. She's a chunky girl. She's 61 something K, and she's a little bit messy, but I'm reading through her right now and she's not as bad as what I thought. I mean, she is really bad, but she has the potential for being really good. So that's what I'm banking on. For those of you interested, I'm also filming a video right now where I talk about my revision process and what I do when I finish a draft and like prep for a new one. So that'll be coming soon if you're interested in just hearing about my process, or you're looking to kind of modify your own. I'm gonna share what I do. It's not for everyone, but it's just what works for me. Okay, next I'm gonna talk about reading last because I have so many books. I'm just gonna go and skip around to like the other fun life things that kind of took up my March. First of all, you can kind of see them over here. I got some new plants as a congratulations for finishing my draft 2. I got this silver pothos, which I wanted so long. It's been on my wish list forever. Her name is Jessica, named after my critique partner because she has one too and she named it Puckett. I have this luscious string of turtles and I love this pot very much. And look at all those flowers. Do you see the little spiky things? That's how this plant flowers, which means it's incredibly happy. I was gonna say, I don't know how I did this, but no, I bought her like this and this wasn't me. More have popped up, I think, since getting her. Am I being delusional? Maybe, but I named her Bridget because she's very fertile and like very happy, and I just felt like the Celtic goddess of spring, like fertile. It just was perfect. And last but not least, we have Trina over here. She's a baby rubber plant, and yeah, she's a tree. So I called her Trina. I didn't know I was buying a tree when I got her. I thought she was just gonna maybe get like, I don't know what, 3 feet tall total. Now, if you plant these outside, they become a tree, like 15 feet tall. Like, I bought a tree. I didn't know it. That's what I get though. But she's very happy, she's very healthy, and she is very beautiful. And last but not least, the moment that like 4 of you have been waiting for. I rewatched Bridgerton and watched season 2 of Bridgerton, which was such a fun time. The season 1 rewatch was really fun. I will say I enjoy the first part of the romantic arc, but then once the couple gets together and there's that second arc, I don't like that. And I literally only rewatched the first season until like, I don't know, halfway through episode 6 where they're like happy and together, and I'm like, that's it. That's where this ends. So I just rewatched those, and then I skipped to the very end and I watched that, which you might think is chaotic, but this is my 3rd rewatch of the series. So, and then I watched season 2, and I have a lot of thoughts, and a lot of thoughts I don't feel like I can quite formulate, and I feel like I have unpopular opinions about it, so I don't want to harp on it too much. But I don't feel like I loved the romance, which is sad because that's like the main point of the show. I just didn't buy it. I didn't ship it. I didn't feel it. I don't know what it was. I feel like people are gonna hate me. I don't feel like they're in love. I feel like that they are like hormonal teenagers and are just very attracted to each other, and they've never met anybody who like irks them so much. But that's not love. Like, love is a relation. Like, you have to get to know each other. They don't even know each other's middle names or their favorite colors. They have like 1, maybe 2 conversations the entire series where they talk about anything other than like how much they can't be together but like want to be. And I'm just like, I like a good enemies to lusters as much as the next person, but don't tell me it's love when it's not. And don't come for me. You can argue with me in the comments, but I will not be swayed. However, I loved this season a lot for the family dynamics, which is honestly, I thought the best part of the season was just like all of the Bridgerton siblings being together and just like hanging out, and their dynamics and like banter. I loved that. That's what I was here for. And also the side plots. I think that this season were way better than the side plots in season 1. It's like half and the other. I love the romance from the first season, didn't so much care for the second season. The first season B plots were just fine. The second season B plots were awesome. So I think they equal out for me pretty much. So yeah, those are my spicy Bridgerton hot takes, I guess. Okay. Now let's get into reading. So yes, I read 13 books in the month of March, and I still can't believe it happened. The first one that I really enjoyed was The Conviction. Now this one is about a wife with a secret past who loves listening to true crime podcasts, and when she's listening to one day, she realizes that she recognized the name of the victim from a previous life, and then everything kind of unspools. I seem to really like books that deal with podcasts. Some of my favorites are like Sadie, and another one is over here. What is this called? This was one of my favorites of a couple years ago. I know you know this also deals with a podcast. You actually get to like listen to the podcast episodes within the book, and you go back and forth between that and like the narration of the story, and I really, really enjoy that. So I highly recommend listening to this one on audiobook if you are interested. The next one I really liked is called The Family Upstairs. Now this one, I just want to pitch as like cults and trauma. That's all you need to know. The next thriller I read was The Paris Apartment. I'm not gonna lie, this is a bit ridiculous. And I really liked that about it. It apparently is not working for a lot of people, but I had so much fun with this book. I think I listened to it at just the right time. I was in like a lot of pain when I was listening to this, so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna read the whole thing in one sitting. And it was the exact amount of like juiciness and ridiculousness that I needed to take me away from my pain. And it was really good for that. So I don't know if I should like recommend it to you. That's not what this is. These are like just what I read and what I like, because I don't know if a lot of people can get down with the unbelievability, I guess. But I had a good time. This is about a woman who goes to stay in her brother's apartment in Paris. She shows up there to hang out with him and he's not there. And then everyone in the apartment building is like really shady and has secrets, and she's like, where is he at though? And then I read one YA this month, and that was Horrid, which I liked. This is a YA horror following a mother and daughter who go back to her mother's home that they inherit after her grandmother passed away, and there's just family secrets and haunted stuff in the house. It's one of those stories, and it was a great time. I loved the ending. It was so dark, and I feel like a lot of times YA doesn't go as dark as I like sometimes. So this one was really, really fun and I enjoyed it. Then the next books I can talk about physically because I own them. I read two Natalie Lloyd books that I've kind of talked about already through the month, but the first one was The Problem Children and then the next one was Over the Moon. These are both middle grades. I would say this is a little bit older middle grade and this is younger middle grade. But we'll start with this one. This one's really fun. It's kind of like Lemony Snicket meets the Addams Family, kind of, a little bit. It's not quite dark in that way, but it's kooky. And it's just about 7 siblings who go to live in their grandparents' home. That's basically like a puzzle mansion. It's got like, you know, doors that lead nowhere and like fake staircases and things like that. And it's just a really, really fun time. It's got a fun like villager trope, like kooky villager, again, Lemony Snicket vibes. I really enjoyed this. And then this is Natalie Lloyd's like foray into kind of higher fantasy where she made up her own world instead of the one that we live in. And this was really, really great. This is about a little girl who lives in a town where they just like follow orders no matter what. She kind of learns to question authority when she starts discovering town secrets, and also these magical flying horses reappear that were once part of her town lore. There's a really fun competition in here, and Natalie Lloyd always does a great job of incorporating disabled children and like making them more than their disability, which I always love. And she's one of the only middle grade authors that I'm reading right now that does it so well and so often in each of her books. And I really love that, and I really need that, and I know like children really need that, so like I'm her biggest fan. And then the last book I read was Starfish by Lisa Phipps. This is a really beautiful story. It is told in verse, if you can see that there. So I think this is a really good one to pick up on audio if you can. The audiobook is actually only 3 hours long, and if you're like me and you listen at double speed, I mean that's like a drive to and home from work, right? This is the story of a 7th grade girl learning how to deal with fat shaming and bullying, both in a school setting and at home, and how fat shaming and bullying can look different and take on a different veneer kind of when it is your family members or your friends that are doing this to you versus bullies at school. I thought it was a really interesting look at all of these things and a good way, honestly, of teaching kids how to deal with this. Our main character is going through therapy at the time of this book, and you see her trying to deal with these bullies in the wrong ways and then learning how to deal with them in the right ways and how to healthfully confront her feelings and deal with them. And I really enjoyed that. Also kind of a hard read at times too. It's not like a gentle breeze, you know what I'm saying? But I 100% recommend if you like middle grade, you like contemporary middle grade. And I totally understand why this was on the Goodreads Choice Awards for last year. So that was my March. It was a really, really great month. Probably the best one that I've had so far this year. And I'm really looking forward to everything that I can accomplish in April. In the comments down below, tell me one unexpectedly good thing that happened to you this month. Maybe it's something you didn't have any control over, but it happened and you were like, oh, that's awesome. If you guys haven't already, my debut novel, The Glass Witch, a middle grade spooky fantasy, is available for pre-order. I will have the links down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.